Hi everybody, it's Kate here. Thank you for watching this morning's Sunday school. Hope you've all had a really good week, whatever you've been up to, whether you've been at school, hope you've been enjoying that, or if you've been at home, hope that's been okay. Now today I get to continue the Moses story which we have been learning over the past few weeks. Now before I go into it, today's story is about food. And I want you to think about, what is your favourite food ever? What food do you feel like you could not live without, or that you could just happily eat every single day? Now I know one of my favourite foods is probably chocolate, because I love chocolate. I like eating it pretty much any time of the day. Love it. Another favourite food of mine is probably pasta. If I could have that for tea every single day, I would. I just love it. I wonder what your favourite food is. Is it sweet? Is it savoury? Now imagine you were going to go into the desert and you could never ever eat that food, and you could never eat it. That favourite food that you've always wanted. Now today's story is actually about the Israelites in the desert. And they didn't just not have their favourite food, they were struggling to find any food. Now I don't know if you can remember, but the Israelites were slaves. The Jewish people were slaves to the Egyptians. And God had done that amazing thing of freeing them from slavery by using the man Moses. And that amazing victory of freedom must have been felt by all the people involved. Well, time went on, and as they were in the wilderness, which is like a desert, they were running out of food, and the people started to grumble and murmur and get unhappy. They forgot all the amazing things which God had done for them. They forgot that they used to be slaves. All they could think about was how unhappy they were in that moment. Now the first picture from our story, if you can find it, it says at the top, "No food. Why have you brought us here to die?" Look how unhappy they are. They are really mad at Moses. They've forgotten that they have come from slavery. All they could think about was their tummies and the fact that they didn't have good food in the wilderness. They said, "Why have you brought us to this place? To die? What was the point in crossing the Red Sea? Just to die." They were very, very unhappy. Now sometimes we get like that. We only see the problem that we're in and we forget all that God has done for us. So if something is going wrong, we start to think, why is this happening to me? And we forget all the blessings which God has given to us. We are no different from the people back then. Now, God decided to teach them a lesson and to show them how much He cared for them. But He also wanted to test them. Now, I'm going to read this from my Bible, so just to show that I'm not making this up. If I can just find the verse. "Then said the Lord unto Moses, Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you." Wow, God's going to make bread rain from heaven. Imagine if your food was falling from the sky. You didn't need to go to the shops. You didn't need to pick it from a bush. It would just rain from the sky. How amazing was God to do that? How amazing is God that He did that? "And the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day." So God said that every day the people were to go out, get the bread and bring it back. They were to do this every single day, and God would provide for them every single day. They were not allowed to gather lots and lots and lots for a full week. Like sometimes if you go to the supermarket, you might get everything you need for 1 week. They weren't allowed to do that. The test was to only get what they needed for that day. And that was so they could trust God every single day. Do you think they passed the test? Do you think that they all managed to do that? Let me just show you the picture first. Oh, over here. Now, God has a plan, and this was the plan, that he would rain bread from the sky, and this bread was called manna, bread from heaven. They would collect a certain amount each day. They were not going to take big buckets and save it for a week, and that was what they were going to do. They had to follow God's instructions and gather enough for only that day, only what they needed for that day. That was the instruction. And the Bible says that some kept part of it until the next day. They weren't meant to do that. Some of them saved some of the manna, some of the bread. They thought, we'll save this for tomorrow, just in case God doesn't rain manna. We'll keep it just in case God forgets to bless us like he did today. That's not what they were told to do. And what happened to that bread? Because they didn't trust God, it went mouldy and rotten and worms were coming out of it. You could not eat it. But they did not trust or follow what God was saying. And that's what happened. The other test was that on the Sabbath, which was the Sunday, they were not to go out and get anything. And it says that on the seventh day, God gave enough for 2 days. So God remembered, God knows and provides for every single little detail in your life. And that's what happened. Okay? So God had a test for the Israelites. Some of them followed instructions. Some of them did the right thing. Some of them didn't trust God. And they actually paid for it. They had rotten, mouldy food which they couldn't eat. Now, you are not an Israelite, and I don't think you are anyway. And you're not in the desert. You are at home or you're at school. So what has this story got to do with our lives? Well, like I said at the start, God has a plan and provides for everything that we can think of. He knows us. He knows our situation, and he will always, always provide. But we have to trust him. We can't think, oh, what if God forgets tomorrow? I'll just do this because God might not have thought of this. Oh, I'll deal with this problem. God probably can't deal with this. If you think like that and act like that, you will end up like the Israelites with rotten, mouldy food. You won't be getting the blessings from God. But if you follow God's instructions and take him at his word and believe what he says, then you will be blessed so much more than you could ever imagine. Now, the Bible verse today is in the book of John. It's chapter 6 and it's verse 35. I'll read it and then I'll show you because I'm struggling to read it upside down. It says, Jesus declared. That means he said out loud. He's going to say something really important. Jesus declared, I am the bread of life. He who comes to me will never go hungry. That's strange. Jesus called himself the bread of life. What do you think he means by that? Well, what he means is Jesus isn't like real bread that you eat, but we need, like you need bread to survive. If you don't eat, you will die. If the Israelites didn't have bread in the desert, they would have died from hunger. If we don't have Jesus, who is the bread of life, we will also die. We need Jesus to live and to live in heaven after we die. Doesn't mean you're never ever going to die if you have Jesus in your life, but it means that you will go to heaven. And he says, I am the bread of life. Basically, Jesus is all you need to get through to heaven. He is everything that you need. Like your body needs bread is good for your body, and you could live on bread and survive off it like the Israelites did. That's the same for Jesus, but he's not just bread, he's the bread of life. He who comes to me will never go hungry. So if you have Jesus in your life, You will never want more or look for more. You'll have everything you need. Like when you've just had a good meal and you're full and you're happy. Not too full, but just have a good full. You'll never go hungry. And that's what it's like if you have Jesus in your life. Hope you've enjoyed the story this week. Seems like I say, we've been looking at Moses for a long time, but it really is an amazing story with lots of lessons we can learn for our own lives. I hope you have a really good week. Hope you all stay safe and see you all soon, hopefully. Bye.